to a new tutorial. Now, in today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to motion track 3D text into a cinematic clip in Resistance. Here's a little example. As you can see, we got the 3D text with a couple of shadows in the cinematic clip. Now it's a little bit laggy. It'll be much better if I had it in YouTube, but it's rendered as a .avi file because I do not have a QuickTime yet on this new computer. Hopefully I get a .mov file later on in the tutorial. But anyways, guys, what we're going to start out with is making that little clip a JPEG sequence, which what I got here is a motion tracking file for you guys to download. Included in this motion tracking file is a sequence. This is where we're going to render out our sequence in After Effects, and this is where our project files will be, such as in Cinema 4D and Beaux-Yeux after I'm finally done with Cinema 4D and finally done with Beaux-Yeux throughout the tutorial. As you can see, we already have the Resistance example for you to download throughout the project file. So what we're going to start off first is making a JPEG sequence. Now there's plenty of ways to make a JPEG sequence. You don't have to have After Effects. I just prefer to have After Effects. You can use like Sony Vegas, or you could have Final Cut. I don't have Final Cut, but it's pretty simple to do. All we're going to do is open up After Effects. Here it comes. Alright, so once After Effects has fully opened, open up your project file, which is underneath Desktop, Motion Tracking, and Project Files. Make sure file type is on all formats. Click on your Resistance example, and we're just going to make a new composition, which is drag it underneath the Render tab. Double click on Lossless and change the format to JPEG sequence. Now I know there's a way you can change it to .tiff sequence. It's the same thing as JPEG sequence, but I know a lot of people want to do PNG sequence. Now there's a lot of bugs included in the PNG sequence because it tries to make it HD, and I really think it will make the camera orientation not fit with the video, and it doesn't work out for me. I like to use JPEG sequence or .tiff. In today's tutorial I'll be using JPEG sequence. I'm going to change the output path to the sequence folder, which I have right here. I'll show you guys how to do that. Open up the motion tracking file and then double click on sequence. And now we're going to change this to SEQ, which is short for sequence. Save. And now what we're going to do is render. Now what I like to do, sometimes it doesn't render out right, so I like to go in the sequence and make sure, yeah, it didn't do it. For some reason, sometimes when I render out After Effects, most of my computers glitch up on me and they don't. I'm just going to make a new project. Nope, don't want to save that one. Open project, just going to open that file up again, all formats. Resistance example, make a new composition. Double click on Lossless, change that to JPEG sequence. Bam. Push OK. Double click on this, and it should be already on the sequence folder. SEQ, short for sequence. Save. Render. Shouldn't take that much time for me to render out. Sometimes it bugs up and doesn't render out right. Sorry guys. Sorry for the delay. As you can see, we have 0 through 270 frames. It should be 272. I apologize. Now we're just going to exit out of After Effects. I'm not going to save the project file in After Effects into the project file folder because it's a pretty simple step. Now we're going to open up Beaux-Yeux, and then we're going to import the sequence that we had just made in After Effects or rendered out. Once Beaux-Yeux is completely open, I will show you guys a lot of different questions that you might have in Beaux-Yeux. So import the sequence. Should be underneath your user, which my name is Skylar, user Skylar. Desktop, motion tracking sequence. Click on the first sequence, open it up. Now and After Effects the sequence or frame rate was 29.97, but once we get into Cinema 4D it will automatically round it to 30, so we're just going to keep the aspect as 30, apply. Now sometimes it glitches back to 25, so just change it back to 30, apply again, click close. Now we're going to track all the features. Now for some reason my computer tracks the features faster than it does CameraSolve. It's pretty difficult for me to understand. I don't know why. Now what you can do is an option in the Advanced tab is change it sensitivity up or more down. I like to keep it in the middle so I don't have too many dots or too little dots. As you can see, less dots, more dots. Just keep it in the middle, and I'm just going to push start. Shouldn't take that long. For some reason my computer does it faster with tracking features than it does with camera solving. Pretty weird. Usually the other way around. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to pause the video once we get the camera solved. It's getting there. Alright, so once this has completely tracked all the features throughout the tracked or cinematic, as you can see it has, just go back to the beginning of the timeline and camera solve. Now a lot of people optimize the camera path smoothness. I like to keep the original camera or original movement of the camera throughout the video, so I don't want to change any of that, so I'm just going to push start. Now as you can see, it's going to take a long while for this to find all the camera, I don't really know what to call it. It's just a bunch of random blue and red, well, blue and green dots, and it takes a while for me to do that. I don't know why. It's pretty much out of my range of knowledge of why it just takes longer for me to camera solve than it does for me to track the features. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pause the video, and I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, so Boju has camera solved our tracked features and we're ready to go. Just go to the middle of the project and add some scene geometry. Now what we're going to do is add a z-axis, an x-axis, and an origin point to show Boju where the floor is once we go into the 3D preview view. So we're just going to add a new add chord from hint and make sure it's origin. So find the middle point, which will be right about here or here. This one's 88, connect to selected, add chord from hint, make it x-axis, and this is basically the front of your floor. It's horizontal, so right here, 2,343, 2343, hold control to select a new point, and right here, this is 1781, connect to selected, and now we're going to add a z-axis, which will be right here, hold control right there, 1242 2790, connect to selected. Now the thing I think about when I do z-axis is from the front of your floor to the horizon. If you've ever seen a picture of an ocean, you see where the horizon is, where the ocean looks like it's going to fall off the end of the earth. It looks like it ends out of your side of view. That's really just what I think of when I'm thinking of making a z-axis, or I think of from the front of your floor or to the back of your floor, front to back. So just click update chord to frame a couple times, push close. Now if we go to 3D view, as you can see, we have our floor, have our little tree right here. Boom, have our little tiny tree. And then we got our floor. And another question what you guys might have is why my points are up and down. This is just because your preferred camera orientation is off. Go to edit preferences, 3D display, preferred camera orientation, and it might be set to Z up, Y forward. Just set it Y up, Z back, and your points will be fine. I'll show you guys. Push OK. They're up and down now. Now if you go to edit preferences, preferred camera orientation on the 3D display. Y up, Z back, push OK. There we go. Now it's on the platform again. All the points are correct. Now if you guys want to skip this step and skip that step and be lazy, once you get in Cinema 4D, that'll come back and bite you in the rear end because all the points will be up and down. Well, upside down, and you'll have to rotate all your text, lights, backgrounds, anything that you really make into the motion tracking. In Cinema 4D, you have to rotate it 180 degrees, and it's pretty annoying. I've tried it before, and it just came back and bit me in the rear end because I was too lazy to just do that little tiny step. Once you guys have this, we're just going to export it now and put it into Cinema 4D. Export camera solve. Make the extension type Cinema 4D, C4D. Change the scale to 100. And change the path to the desktop, motion tracking, project files, C4D. Now, one thing that you guys might have once you get in Cinema 4D, why your points might not show up is because you didn't scale to 100. Also, once you get to Cinema 4D, you might put it at 10 once you scale it. You might put it at 10, not 100. That might be why. Also, once you get in Cinema 4D, I'll show you guys your dots are supposed to be dots. Like the shape is supposed to be on dot, not sphere or square, or actually just none. It's supposed to be on sphere, and I'll show you guys once we get in there. Just push save. Now that's in the project files now. If you guys download that, also this will be in the project files. So I'm just gonna go to File, Save As, Desktop, Motion Tracking, Project Files, name it as Boju. Now you guys have this file. Once you download it, just gonna exit out of that and open up Cinema 4D. Okay, now that I have Cinema 4D open, we're gonna open up that file that we literally just saved out of Boju. Make sure the scale is 100. And some questions what you guys might have was talking about the display should be on dot, not none. Should it be on sphere? Should it be on square? Should it be just plain out on none? Plus on the first points on your cord, it should be 180 degrees. Other than that, guys, I really don't know. My best opinion would be to go back and do that Boju step again, watch the tutorial again, or just complete on restart your computer, come back and redo the process. As I said, if you ever watch another motion tracking tutorial other than my motion tracking tutorial, they will say it's a very lengthful process in every tutorial that you watch. So guys, it is a very lengthful process. I agree with that, but please don't get angry at the system. It's just how it goes. It's how motion tracking goes. It's basically its own type of editing. It's a pretty cool effect for 3D text to go into Black Ops or Modern Warfare 3 or whatever game that you're making it go into. If you're following this tutorial, it's Modern Warfare 3. Now what we're going to do is add a background. Go to the light tab, add a background, and we're going to make a new material. Now, what I wanted to do is render out that little clip as MOV, but I had to render it out as AVI because I don't have QuickTime yet. So if I went into the motion tracking file, project files, and resist example, as you can see, Cinema 4D does not know the file type once I try to make it a material, unknown file format. Just going to push OK. Now if it was MOV, it would make a new material. The material would be, just go to File, New Material. It would look like this. Just load the image of your first sequence. Double click, push no, double click the picture, go to animation, and would calculate each second. Make sure it's not an exact frame, make sure it's on exact second. Calculate the frame rate, and make sure specular is maybe not turned on. I'm just going to leave it on. Just going to exit out of that and then put it on the background. Now